hear she's got that nasty women's disease. And I hear she's got that nasty women's disease.
I'm a hot girl, I do hot shit. Finish income on my outfit. I don't text quick, cause I ain't thirsty. These bitches mad, they wanna hurt me.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to another wonderful episode of You Ain't Shit for Watching. I want to thank each and every one of you for hitting that like button, putting us over the top with 50, right? Very much appreciate y'all. Please like, subscribe, and share this new video, as with all my videos. If you aren't subscribed, what you here for? All right, so what we're gonna do today is we're gonna cover Shug Avery. As promised, you guys put me over the 50 like hump, so this is my thanks. Shug Avery. Anyway, yeah, Shug Avery is a piss poor human being. I think that she's a horrible, horrendous person, and she truly is the embodiment of a hot girl. What is a hot girl, you may ask? A hot girl is simply a hoe. She's a loser ass bitch who does things to keep up appearances, to keep her name in the street, to keep herself in the street. So yeah. All right. Let me give you examples. That'll make it a little bit clear, right? Example of a hot girl is a woman who has kids that she drops off at grandma's house and just leaves them there forever for grandma to raise. Example of a hot girl is a woman who spends her rent money on trying to get to what? All-Star Weekend, some kind of event, some kind of party, and then struggles to get back. Maybe is relying on a man to pay her way back, or a GoFundMe, as we've seen in the recent couple months. Another example of a hot girl is a chick who goes to maybe a reputable restaurant, and if some music she feels like is twerk worthy comes on, she's got to get up on the table and bust her ass open. These are kind of but not limited to, right? These are kind of the things that a hot girl will do and then brag about it. So let's go down the list and figure out why I feel Shug Avery is a hot girl and a horrible person.
Silly, this Shug Avery, friend of the family. Fix up the spare room.
I can't move. I need to see her eyes. I feel like once I see her eyes, then my feet can let go of the spot they stuck in.
You sure is ugly.
Real hot girl shit.
All right, so we family, right? We're gonna really just cover this movie in the realest way possible. Shug Avery is a side bitch. This should not be a mystery to anybody watching. Shug Avery is the bitch that Mr. goes off on the weekend and spends his whole dollars on, right? He spends a little bit of change so she can do something strange. Now that we've acknowledged that, we also need to acknowledge that it's not a side bitch's place to ever come to the marital home of the nigga she's fucking. But what does Shug Avery do? She gets out of pocket and shows up drunk. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't mention that Mr. is a sucker for letting that bitch in the house. But this video is not about Mr. This video is about Shug. Now, again, this is the first interaction we have with her, the first time we really see her on screen, and she barges into this woman's home and calls her ugly. Now, that may have been funny to a lot of people. I mean, I laughed at it, but in the same breath, that's hella disrespectful. All I can look at you as a bitch. What else can you be looked at? You walked up into this married woman's house and called her ugly. You a bitch. You're a horrible fucking person and a bitch. But we're gonna go to the next clip.
You got kids?
Yeah. They was my ma and pa. Never know the child to come out right unless there's a man around.
Now I'm going to ignore the fact that the wife is bathing the side bitch and she got an attitude with her in this bathtub. I'm gonna ignore that. I'm just going to purely use this clip to let you know that she has multiple kids that are staying with her mother and father. Meaning she abandoned those kids to go ahead and live her hot girl summer full time, year round, non-stop, with no delay. And what does that make her? That makes her a horrible fucking person. You cannot abandon your kids with grandma and grandpa and gallivant from town to town, back and forth from Memphis, and do all this shit and somehow still be a good person. No, bitch, you're evil. If something is wrong with you for you to deny your maternal instinct and be like, fuck them kids, go to grandma and grandpa. Something's wrong with you, bitch. So, again, more proof Shug Avery ain't shit. Horrible fucking person. Now listen, I'm not altering these clips. I'm not making these clips anything funny. I'm just pointing out a different perspective on this character because she's not been properly given any kind of accountability for her actions in this movie. If we're always going to talk about how Mr. ain't shit, how the men in this movie are horrible fucking men, then we need to look at the women in this movie and actually take note of what they were doing. All right, so let's break down the next clip. This is a clip where old Mister's father, comes over and basically chastising him. He's chastising him for having a hoe in his house and not respecting his wife. Not that he really cares about the respect aspect of it, but it's all about looks. But in this conversation, we learn a few things about Shug, and well, let's talk more video.
Just couldn't rest till you got her in your house, could you?
Cool drink. Take your hat.
What is it with this Shug Avery? She black as tar, nappy-headed, got legs like baseball bats. My own daddy won't even have nothing to do with her.
So aside from, because I had to pause it right there, aside from the fact that Mr. said the slick shit about the girl's hair and her skin color, ignore all that. The shit that he said was powerful, that was real fucking powerful, was the fact that her own father won't talk to her. Now, just let that sink in. What do you have to do for your own father, who's raising your kids, might I add, to just say, fuck it, I ain't want nothing to do with you no more?
Old Mr. talking trash about Shug. Folks don't like nobody being too proud or too free.
All right, so you heard that bullshit there, right? That's that little bit of feminism that Alice Walker tried to stick in. Shug is a hoe. I've shown that to you. She's running around not caring about her fucking kids. She's a horrible fucking person. But Celie, through the eyes of Celie, she sees it as being proud and free. Even though she's in your house fucking your man and making you bathe her. That's pride. At a certain point, the shit just gets ridiculous, but y'all know what the deal is, so we just gonna keep listening to the foolishness, and I'll prove my point.
You joined Jezebel. Why, she ain't even clean. And I hear she's got that nasty women's disease.
You ain't got it in you to understand. I love Shug Avery. Always have, always will. Should have married her when I had a chance.
Yeah. And throwed your life away. And right smart of my money with it. Plus, I hear all her children's got different daddies. All too trifling and confused.
All Shug Avery's children got the same daddy. I can vouch
You
for
can
that.
vouch for nothing. Shug Avery done set the population of Hotwell County a new high. You just one of the rusters, boy. Silly, you has my sympathy. Ain't many women's loudy husbands hoe to lay up in their house.
That nigga told a whole lot of truths in a short amount of time. These old folks really don't give a fuck, and they will tell you straight like that. They'll tell you just how it is without a care in the fucking world, because what you gonna do? They old. All right, so one of the things old Mister said, aside from her having that dirty woman's disease, one of the things he said that stuck out to me in a real way was she had multiple men fathering her multiple children, right? By today's standards, that's fucking wild. Like, you just look crazy if you have multiple kids by multiple men. It says a lot about your character. But this summed it all up for me. This put her firmly in the category of hoe, of hot girl summer. This put her firmly in the category of loser, terrible, piss poor person. You have multiple kids with multiple men. So you really don't give a fuck about you and yourself. You don't give a fuck about your safety because you run around here with an STD burning niggas, and you've abandoned the kids. What more do we need? Shit, her own father don't fuck with her. Look at this. Look. Now, would you think that they were related? He don't even want to look at her. He don't even want people in public to know that he's associated with her in any way, shape, or form. You know why? Because his daughter's a piss poor person. So typically in books, movies, stories, just in general, you have a character that is going to grow and develop, right? Shug is a horrible fucking person, so she would be prime candidate for a story arc that makes her develop and become a better person. No, not in the fucking color purple. She just stays the same old rude, ridiculous, crafty, slick ass bitch. She don't give a fuck about nobody else. She pretends to be good friends with Celie, but again, how friendly can you be with a bitch you've been fucking her man and moved up in her house, right? Like, come on, man. That's that mean girl shit. But we'll push past that, right? So eventually she gets up and leaves. She decides she's going back out in the hot girl summer circuit, right? Gone. And in the time frame that she's gone, she's found some sucker to marry her and bring her back in a new car. She's flossing on niggas. That's exactly what she's doing. She's come back to floss on everyone that she found a sucker, and I do mean sucker. Clip incoming.
Yeah, we done had the best. You had it your way, I had it mine. But we had her. We had her.
Real hot girl shit.
See what I mean? A sucker. What kind of nigga is gonna let another motherfucker say some shit like that to him about his wife? Everybody gotta die. Nigga, what'd you say about my wife? Oh yeah, everybody gotta die. Alright, so back to Shug. Shug left, and she did really what a lot of women do when they're the neighborhood hoe. They get up and they leave and they go to different cities and they find suckers to take them in, and then they bring them back into this small town or wherever the neighborhood that they're from, and they say, see, I'm not just a hoe, I'm a wife now. They get on their high horse and they start doing little slick shit in order to try and make themselves feel better about a lifetime of being a hoe. Alright, so again, she's on her high horse, and because she's on her high horse, she starts to meddle in Celie and Mister's relationship. Yes, it is meddling, because she didn't say nothing when she was fucking Mister. She didn't say anything when she was fucking Celie. She didn't say nothing when anything else was going on, but she made it a point to meddle because she's on a high horse. But notice, what she didn't do was go and clean up her own fucking backyard. She didn't go pick up them kids. She showed up in a new car with a whole bunch of luggage, but I didn't see any car seats. I didn't see any children's clothes. At no point during the movie whatsoever do we see her with any of her kids, right? What we do see is her hanging out at the juke joints and telling everybody she's married. Again, playing like she's on the high horse. Even Mister had a redemption arc. This nigga went and took his money and got Celie's sister and kids back. He redeemed himself by the end of the movie. Now, he didn't totally redeem himself, but he did enough to show that he had some personal growth, right? He's not a completely bad person. He's a person that was put in bad circumstances, and he grew. Alice Walker is basically making the statement that Shug is fine just the way she is. Everybody needs to accept that. See, at the end of Shug's personal little arc, all she does is she walks down the road singing to her father's church, and she's automatically forgiven. But nobody takes note that she at no point goes to get her kids, makes amends with her kids, makes actual amends with her father. She just goes up in there and sings. And then what? She gets up and leaves town again. So there was no actual growth whatsoever. She was just forgiven for being a woman. So Alice Walker wrote this with a intent and a purpose, right? I don't know if she modeled this on somebody she knew, maybe her mother, maybe herself. I don't exactly know. But what we do know is the message here is very clear. Black men ain't shit and hoes stay winning. I guess. But, you know, that's just me. But I thank you for tuning in. Again, you know, I appreciate each and every one of y'all. I ain't shit, and you ain't shit for watching.